Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel again. Just like what I previously mentioned, in this episode we will talk about hyperinflation in interwar Germany. So this is exactly like what history students in IGCSE studies. So let me first introduce you the background. So after World War One, during the Paris Peace Conference, when the Treaty of Versailles is being conducted, Germany experienced one of the history's most spectacular examples of hyperinflation. At first, at the very beginning, the repayment they required, the allies they required is so huge, a really huge amount, and it needs to be paid in US dollars. So actually, during that time, these politicians have already realized that the Reichsmark in Germany may depreciate in a really fascinating rate. So at the war's end, the Allies demand that Germany pay substantial reparations. These repayments led to fiscal deficits in Germany, which the German government eventually financed by printing large quantities of money. So you may ask, why? Is that money really that huge? I would say, at first the repayment conduction is really, really unrealistic, and after they realize it, rather than to let Germany just, do not exist because of the debt, because still the United Kingdom still want Germany to be its trade friend, one of his trade friends. So still, they need the existence of Germany, to balance the whole force in Europe. And the repayment cannot hurt Germany that much, but still it needs to be severe. So they at first, they plan to take 10% of Germany's GDP out of it. And of course, in 1921, Germany successfully repaid. No, in 1922, yeah. But in 1923, they faced the raw crisis because nobody wants to, keep producing, because they know, because German is, very nationalism, and the residents know what they produce are being taken, by foreign people. This is really unacceptable. So they, have a strike, and so raw is invaded. And at that time, the government called for, passive resistance, and it leads to, they do not produce. But do not produce, how can they, purchase products? They need to ensure their welfare, so they keep printing money. So what is the advantage of printing money? So at that instant, because of, the delay of, the market to change its price. So really at that instant, the price is, fixed. So printing huge money in a rapid time will increase the real, purchasing power. But after the market reacts, it does not mean anything, and it means hyperinflation. So we can see the graph. So the graph A shows the quantity of money and the general price level in Germany between 1922 to 1924. So what we can see, there is a huge deflection point, which is the raw invasion. The money supply, just grow geometrically, and the price level also grow geometrically. So, for example, if I read the data, the price of daily newspaper rose from 0.3 mark to 1 mark within, 15 to 16 months, and to 8 marks in October 1922, within 5 months, 100 mark in February 1923, all of it, and finally, 70 million marks on November 17. December, the money supply and price abruptly stabilized. So why? Because, Gustav Stresemann, a really, huge, fabulous politician, foreign minister of Weimar. So he decided, rather than, keep torturing the whole German, he decided to, introduce a new currency, brand new currency called the Rentenmark. But how can he ensure that the Rentenmark did not lose their value in a short period of time? First, they announced that the Rentenmark is, have a fixed amount or when establishing, so avoid the problem of keep printing and printing. Secondly, it kindly use, the land as backup. So land is being seen the price stable all over the period of time, even, during wartime. So it is a was stabilized, back up. So fiscal problem called the German hyperinflation and the fiscal reform ended it. At the end of 2023, number of government employees was cut by 1/3, which we can see like is austerity program later, and reparation repayments are temporarily suspended and eventually reduced. At the same time, Rentenbank replaced the Reichsbank. The Rentenbank was committed not to financing the government by printing money. And it also reduced, you see the scale in 1924 to 1925 almost reached zero inflation rate. Why? Because of, the Locarno Treaty and, the Dawes Plan were introduced and they received the funds from USA as well. Like later, the funds caused huge problems. According to, analysis of money demand, the end of hyperinflation should lead to an increase in real money balance as the cost of holding money falls. So real balance increase. So we can see from the figure that the real money balance in Germany did fall as inflation increased and increase again when inflation fall. So the increase in real money balance was not immediate. Perhaps the adjustment of real money balance to the cost of holding money is a gradual process, just like how they fix tax rates, how they, plan to save or, spend money, and how the market to reconduct the price. So, expected inflation fell more gradually than actual inflation. Then this is the case. It needs to be, reduced. And that is the end of, this episode. Thank you all for listening. Have a nice day.